I humbled my spouse's family after they tried to mock what I do. My husband Logan's family treated me like absolute garbage for 3 years straight. I'm a tattoo artist who owns my own shop, but they acted like I was some kind of street criminal who couldn't hold down a proper job. It started small. His mom would forget to invite me to family events and act surprised when Logan showed up alone. His dad would make comments about how tattoos were unprofessional and wonder out loud why anyone would want to mutilate their body permanently. His sister Emma would roll her eyes whenever I mentioned work and ask when I was going to grow up and get a real career.
But Logan's mom, Margaret, was the worst. She'd introduce me to her friends as Logan's friend, this disgusted look on her face. At last year's Christmas dinner, she actually suggested I look into being a medical receptionist since I was good with people and could use my people skills in a respectable environment. The whole table nodded like she'd given me brilliant career advice. Logan never said a word. Not once in 3 years did he defend me or tell his family to back off. He'd just sit there looking uncomfortable, maybe change the subject, or worse. Sometimes he'd nod along like he agreed with them. When I'd bring it up later, he'd say things like, "They mean well," or "They just want the best for us." The breaking point came at his brother's engagement party 6 months ago. I was wearing a simple black dress, nothing revealing, totally appropriate, but his Aunt Patricia cornered me by the bathroom and said, "Honey, you know Logan's going to want children someday, right? You really can't raise kids in that kind of environment around all those rough people. Have you thought about what kind of example you'd be setting?" I was so angry I could barely speak. She was talking about my shop. It was some crack den instead of a clean, professional business that I'd built from nothing. That night, I told Logan I was done. I wanted a divorce. He completely freaked out, begging me to reconsider, promising his family would come around eventually and that he'd talk to them. But it was too little, too late. I'd spent 3 years waiting for him to stand up for me, and he never did. I moved out the next week and filed papers a month later. Logan kept calling, texting, showing up at my shop, trying to convince me to give him another chance. But I was over it. I'd rather be alone than spend another minute around people who treated me like dirt while my own husband watched it happen. The divorce was final 4 months ago. I threw myself into work, expanded my client base, hired 2 new artists. Business was booming. Then 2 weeks ago, something beautiful happened. Logan's cousin Sarah, who'd barely spoken to me during the marriage, came into my shop. She didn't recognize the name when she booked online. Her dad had passed away suddenly, and she wanted a memorial tattoo, his portrait with his favorite Bible verse. I spent 6 hours on that piece. It was some of my best work ever. Photorealistic portrait, gorgeous script lettering. Sarah cried when she saw it finished. She immediately posted it on Instagram, tagging my shop and writing this long caption about how meaningful it was and how professional and talented I was. Within hours, Logan's entire family had seen it. They started going through my business Instagram, seeing my portfolio. Turns out they had no idea I'd tattooed the starting quarterback for our NFL team, 2 local news anchors, the police chief, and half the city council. My work's been featured in 3 tattoo magazines, and I have a 6-month waiting list. Logan's mom, Margaret, was the first to crack. She called Logan asking if I'd consider doing a small, tasteful piece for her. Apparently, she wanted a butterfly to cover up an old scar. Then his dad wanted to know about laser tattoo removal services because he had some regrettable ink from college. Emma suddenly thought tattoo artistry was actually quite impressive and wanted to commission something. Logan texted me yesterday. "My whole family feels terrible. They want to apologize, and my mom is hoping you might have time to meet with her about some work." I screenshotted his message and replied, "Tell Margaret that medical receptionist positions are still available if she wants something respectable. I hear they're great for people who are good with others." He hasn't responded yet.